What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to the Big Fight Fuel channel. I am your host tonight on episode 6 of Chopping It Up, Joseph Conlon. We are back after a week's absence here on the Big Fight Fuel channel, and tonight we've got tons to talk about when it comes to what is happening in the world of WWE. We got Cameron Johnson. We got Escobar Morales. Fellas, what is going on? Escobar, I'm loving the CM Punk shirt, dude. What's happening, man?
Dude, I'll say this. Monday Night Raw is giving me nothing but ruthless aggression vibes. I mean, I'm getting Liv Morgan seducing Dom, like this is Kane and Lita and Edge and Matt Hardy. I'm getting Drew McIntyre completely just one shot in the Judgment Day. Otis, like I'm enjoying it. Jay Uso done announced his appearance for Money in the Bank. But I'll tell you one thing I'm ready to discuss is these working relationships. And we have Ethan Page and NXT. NXT looking kind of fire. Just saying.
I
But
mean,
my man
it definitely
Cam,
sparked my interests for sure.
what's going on?
What is going on, y'all? I'm ready for episode 5 of Chopping It Up. I am ready for episode 5 of Chopping It Up. And let's go. I don't know if you pay attention to that Rated M Discord, bro, but they call me a WWE hater in there, bro. So a WWE hater is on the WWE podcast right now, bro. But hey, it is what it is.
Man, we can't. Wrestling fans are lovely. I'll say that. And it's not saying that to be mean. It's like they don't know what they want. Like, they really don't know what they want.
I will say I used to be a WWE hater myself. That was when the product was bad, though. And, like, all I could find on the show was criticism. But then it's like, dude, the more you watch wrestling, like, why sit there and, like, shit on the entire thing? That's not what fun is that, you know? There's no fun in that whatsoever. But we are going to get into it here on episode 6. We got a lot to talk about, and before we do, our last episode, episode 5 of Chopping It Up, we reached over 800 views, so that's just a great number for the podcast. Thank you all who tuned in, and we very much appreciate it. That was by far. That was by far our best podcast so far. We had that podcast where we talked about the bloodline for about 30 minutes, and man, that was incredible. That was absolutely incredible. The
And
bloodline
what saved it.
the bloodline is kicking ass on Friday Night SmackDown. Let's just say that right now.
They ruining that damn show on SmackDown.
Unbelievable, man. But before we get into anything, be sure to subscribe to the Big Fight Fuel channel. Summer is around the corner, and we've got a lot of great wrestling events coming up this summer. A lot is going to be taking place. We got Clash at the Castle next weekend. Money in the Bank is in July. We're already getting billed to that show with Monday Night Raw last night. And then we got SummerSlam in August. And then, of course, we're going to be covering AEW's All In come late August. So there's going to be tons of wrestling content in the summer. I am working a lot in the summer, but I am going to try my damn best to bring y'all some great wrestling content over the summer because there's going to be some big shows happening this summer. So be sure to subscribe to the Big Fight Fuel channel. So, fellas, why don't we just get into it already? We've got so much to talk about. Kind of just want to dive into it right now. So we are recording this on Tuesday. You guys are seeing this on Tuesday night. So we're gonna not fast forward. We're gonna rewind backwards, and we're gonna go to last week's NXT. Now I have not watched an episode of NXT since the Go Home show to Stand and Deliver, and the only reason I was watching NXT was to see the build for Stand and Deliver, and then I see on my phone that Jordan Grace showed up to challenge Roxanne Perez. I'm like, hold on, I gotta go back onto my DVR and watch that segment. That crowd went insane. And then I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go back and I'm gonna watch. I think I was watching basketball. All right, I'm gonna go watch the Mavericks game. And then I go on my phone at 10:30, and I see that Ethan Page showed up and attacked Trick Williams. I'm like, what in the world? I missed a chaotic episode of NXT to watch the damn Dallas Mavericks. But
That's it. That was fun though. That was fun though. You got to see. That was fun though. You got to see Luca and Barrett. That was fun though. You got to see Luca embarrass the Timberwolves and go to the finals. That's what you got to see last week.
yes, he embarrassed the Timberwolves and advanced to the NBA Finals. But I also missed a great episode of NXT. So, which it got people talking about a potential relationship about WWE. So I want to before want to get into the Jordan Grace situation heading into NXT Battleground. So I see that Esco's camera is frozen up on us. So Cameron, why don't you go ahead and start off? Give your thoughts on the Jordan Grace Roxanne Perez situation in NXT.
I like it. I like it. I was shocked by Jordan Grace making her banking by Jordan Grace being the one to challenge Roxanne Perez because I saw online. Okay, Esco sent me a text. He said his power went out. They're in the middle of a storm where he's at. So yeah,
No Esco tonight.
yeah, that's unfortunate. But I saw this girl, but I was shocked that it was Jordan Grace because I saw a report from Fightful that they never said that Tegan Knox was going to be the one to challenge Roxanne Perez. They just said that Tegan Knox is expected to have a run in NXT. So I was thinking two people. So I was thinking, okay, it's either going to be Tegan Knox or this is where they're going to bring back Alexa Bliss and they're going to do Alexa Bliss and Roxanne. And they're going to do Alexa and Roxanne at Battleground. But I was shocked that it was Jordan Grace that came out. I was happy to see Jordan Grace. I was happy to see Jordan Grace come out. And wrestling is better when wrestling promotions work together.
Yes.
And for a while, and for a long time under the Vince McMahon regime, he did not want to work with other companies, which I don't understand because he had no problem doing it in like the 90s. Like you can go back and like you can see videos and pictures of Vince McMahon working with New Japan and working with New Japan and working with All Japan. So he had no issue doing it in the 90s. I don't know why he stopped doing it in the 2000s, in the 2000s and 2010s. But it's great when we see other wrestling companies work together. No, but it's great when we see other wrestling companies work together. And I hope TNA is able to get more out of this relationship with WWE than they got out of the relationship they had with AEW. But I love this. So
I agree. And I know TNA has some big events coming up. They obviously have Slammiversary, which is their biggest event of their summer. TNA's biggest event is Slammiversary. If they are in a working relationship with WWE or particularly NXT, one thing I would love to see is an NXT championship defended on a TNA pay-per-view. I think that would be really cool. I think that would, especially if it's like Roxanne Perez or Trick Williams or whoever's the North American champion, if it's a big name. I think that would get people to buy the TNA pay-per-view. Like, just say, for an example, Wes Lee is the North American champion, and he's going over to TNA to defend the championship against his former tag team partner, Trey Miguel, at Slammiversary. I mean, who wouldn't want to see that? That would be a great match. Trick Williams going over to TNA to defend his championship against a guy like Eddie Edwards. I think that would be great for Trick Williams. So that's kind of what I want the most out of this. But I think it's mostly going to be an NXT and TNA relationship. I necessarily don't think it's going to be the main roster. So for people that like dream, like, what you would call it, booking main roster versus TNA scenarios. I necessarily don't think what this is for. I think it's more for NXT. And I think that's wonderful for NXT because NXT, they could get some big stars on their show. TNA's got some nice wrestlers over there. Frankie Kazarian, Ace Austin, they've got some nice wrestlers over there. So
Could you imagine?
Put my man
Could you
Javon
imagine that?
Evans in there, I'm set. Put my man
Bro,
Javon Evans anywhere, he'll be going everywhere.
yes.
could you imagine they released Dolph Ziggler last year, then we get Dolph Ziggler back on the WWE pay-per-view? Dolph is like,
I'll tell you this,
it's
though.
like you never left, Dolph. It's just like you never left.
I won't be surprised if we see AJ Styles back in the TNA ring for like a one night off only, though.
I've heard people talk about that on social media. Like,
Well,
why?
don't forget the Good Brothers are going for the tag team titles at Battleground.
Oh,
Oh yeah, that's right. Defending.
Possible.
I was gonna say I can see. I was gonna say I can see TNA loaning. I can see WWE loaning AJ Styles for an appearance at like Bound for Glory because correct me if I'm wrong. I think 2 years ago, didn't they allow AJ to send in a video to TNA for like
Yes.
one of the shows? I could see TNA. I could see WWE allowing AJ Styles to make like an in-person appearance. Or maybe he doesn't get physical, but like just an in-person appearance or like talk to the crowd or whatever. I can see them doing that. They did the same thing with
They
our
allowed
Truth.
Carl Anderson to go to New Japan.
Yeah, they did. Let's go. Take over. I got to respond to.
Sure,
All right.
Esco, you can give your thoughts on Jordan Grace, Roxanne Perez, TNA, WWE. I want to hear it. First of all, are you okay? Because your power.
Yeah, the power went out for a bit, then it came back, so we're good. I literally all I heard was "damn Dallas Mavericks," and then the freaking everything just cut. So Retribution, I guess, is a fan of the Dallas Mavericks. So I'll say this: it's very exciting to see wrestling companies work together once again. I mean, and Cameron was just making up a good point. I was making sure I was on my phone to find the picture. They have definitely worked before. Like wrestling companies working together, it always helps out. I mean, peep this. There's a freaking photo right here in 1990 of Vince McMahon cueing Jushin Liger to go out to the ring.
Oh wow!
I know it's barely.
I mean, so.
Yeah, but I mean, it's been possible. I think what helps out a lot too is that Paul Levesque, Triple H, Shawn, they know the wrestling business. And I think what helps out too is that because they were wrestlers and not like businessmen that liked wrestling or businessmen that looked at wrestling as a cash grab, they looked at it as a chance to, hey, we're going to get a way to make this great, expand on this. Now, I'll tell you this. I remember I was worried about what they were going to do, like, because, Julia from Stardom was supposed to be the one taking on Roxanne Perez. And I was really worried on how they're going to find a replacement. Was not banking on that. The fact that Jordan Grace showed up, and they even said on commentary, the TNA Knockouts champion, I'm like, I remember, like, can you imagine, Joseph, if that was 10 years ago? They would be like, this is a wrestler that's wrestled across the country and numerous platforms. Now they're here, like for them to name drop, like, TNA now that everybody's, like, watching, like, the sport and everything, it's great.
Yeah.
And, like, obviously, Roxanne Perez will beat Jordan Grace. However, that's going to be a match to remember. And if this is going to open up a forbidden window instead of a forbidden door, forbidden window for them to work together, I'm all for it. Because don't forget, they're based out in Florida, so I mean, like, why not?
I agree. And then TNA goes to Florida all the time for their tapings too. So NXT wrestlers or main roster, whoever wrestlers, can always go down to the TNA tapings and, cause some havoc down there. But I think this is great. This is great for wrestling. When wrestling companies work together, it's great. And really, we don't have much benefit with companies working together because Just look at the relationship between AEW and New Japan, for example. It started off great. Everybody was excited. The first Forbidden Door, we were getting dream matches. The second Forbidden Door, we were getting dream matches. But since last year's Forbidden Door, now AEW has all the good wrestlers in New Japan. It's like, is there really a Forbidden Door? Like, we have to include other wrestling companies. We have to include CMLL. We have to include Stardom. I really think this working relationship between TNA and WWE, it has massive potential, and I think it could get wrestling fans talking for sure.
The one thing I am worried about with this relationship, and I have to say it because it is WWE, I know that they have new people involved now, but this is still WWE. I'm scared. I hope that TNA just doesn't become a feeder system for WWE. I really hope that that's not the case. Like they just like what ECW was for a little bit for WWE, where WWE and ECW they had a working relationship, and Vince McMahon, helped fund ECW, and Vince McMahon helped fund ECW. ECW basically turned into like a feeder system for WWE. I hope that the same thing does not happen with TNA, where Ring of Honor also in like 2018, like they didn't have working relationship, but like all the Ring of Honor talent were going right up, or they were signing the WWE. WWE pretty much raided that entire talent roster outside of the Bucks, outside of the Bucks and Cody. So like I hope this does not turn into a situation where like you can argue AEW you can argue New Japan is a feeder system for AEW. You can argue New Japan is a feeder system for AEW. I hope that's not the case with TNA, where TNA just turns into a feeder system for WWE, where WWE just we gonna keep our TNA. We gonna keep our eye on that guy right there. We gonna see how he does. Oh, he ready. He ready. He ready. He getting praise. He getting the claim, huh? Yeah, we gonna snatch him up now. We gonna sign him over.
If it's done right, if they communicate well, that's all we need. I mean, New Japan does have talent. They have the mainstream talent, but the thing is that New Japan is now in the process of rebuilding their next generation, because Okada, Tanahashi, Naito, Nakamura, they're past their prime. Not saying they can't put on good matches, but 10 years ago, those were the people that were carrying New Japan. Now we got to watch out for people like Yota Tsuji, Taiji Ishimori, Gabriel Kidd, Clark Connors, El Desperado. I mean, New Japan right now is working on building up their next generation. I will say this, though. Ever since they announced the Forbidden Door events, I've been a fan of it. But it just seems to me that the only reason, like, I'm not sure if y'all noticed, the only reason why they have that working relationship is because of Jon Moxley. Like, if Jon Moxley was not in AEW, he would be a full-time New Japan star. And the reason why I think of it like this, they have not given the IWGP World Heavyweight Championship to anybody. They didn't even give it to Kenny when he was collecting. They gave it to Jon Moxley. So if Moxley's happy and if he's doing whatever he wants and stuff like that, that relationship's going to work. But I'm not going to lie. I kind of feel like it's starting to – I'm not really looking forward to them as much. Like, yeah. I'm not going to lie. I rarely watch AEW too, and I'm not an AEW hater. I just fell off of watching it, and I used to be a religious watcher. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, but I don't think TNA will have that issue, only because if Sean and Hunter are safe and smart about it, they won't monopolize it. That's the thing. Like, you can't have too much of a bigger roster because you can't pay everybody the same. You can't. Like, that ruins revenue in your company. You need to have your indie companies to one so they can make money, but two that allows them to get their shit. I mean, right. If we went back to cross promotions and have them come up for once in a while, that would be great. But you can't have talent get bought all the time. Right. Or if you want, this is what I do in my universe mode. I divide my pay-per-views up. Like, let's say, like, my universe mode, I'm going from May to August. At the end of SummerSlam, I rearrange my roster so that way it's all fresh and stuff. So that way, if whoever wants to go to like an indie show or takes time off, I think if they did that in real life, it would be so much better. Honestly,
Yeah.
that way everybody gets a fair share of the pie.
Talking about TNA and like a working relationship with WWE, I just realized in my mind how much I miss Scott D'Amore and how great of a general manager role he would be in this type of situation. Like, could you imagine Scott D'Amore walking out on an episode of NXT? I feel like that would be at a huge pop.
Can you imagine William Regal showing up in the Impact Zone?
Yeah. Or Shawn Michaels.
Dude.
Yeah, sexy boy in the Impact Zone.
Yo.
Shawn Michaels in the Impact Zone.
Well, what's HB Hickenbottom doing in the Impact Zone?
Well, Jordan Grace wasn't the only big name who showed up in NXT last week. Ethan Page.
Yes.
And attacked Trick Williams. And he had the line of the night, or maybe the line of the week, where he was attacking Trick Williams. And he said, "Whoop that trick." Yeah, I'm about to. I thought that was fantastic. And he revealed that he took out Noam Dar and he took out Oro Mensah, and he held the NXT championship high in the air to close out last week's NXT. And now the new rumor going around is Ethan Page is going to challenge Trick Williams for the NXT championship this upcoming Sunday at Battleground. Now, we'll know tonight because currently right now, at the time of this recording, NXT is being taped. So I'll go first with this one. Fantastic. I like to observe, like with both companies, how they drop the ball for each company, WWE and AEW. AEW absolutely dropped the ball on Ethan Page. Ethan Page signed with AEW. I'm like, okay, this guy has talent. He can wrestle. He's very charismatic. He's a great.
His promos are so damn good.
He's an incredible promo, and you know AEW had stuff for him to do in the beginning, and then the end of 2022 happened, and he sort of fizzled out of their plans, and he was just another guy on the roster, and they found nothing for him. They sent him to goddamn Ring of Honor to have matches on Honor Club, which did nothing for him, and now he's gone and he's in NXT, and I think he fits like a glove in NXT. He'll be main roster ready in about a year, but right now he's gonna fit like a glove in NXT. I think this is fantastic for Ethan Page. This is probably the best thing that could have happened for him. So I'm happy for Ethan Page. I think Esco is frozen up once again. So Cam, gonna hand it over to you on All Ego being all WWE.
I'm in agreement with you. I'm in agreement with you, Joseph. I like Ethan Page in WWE. I think he fits like a glove. There's one wrestling promoter, one wrestling booker that I trust more than any booker / promoter in wrestling right now. And it used to be Tony Khan. It's not Tony Khan anymore. It is Shawn Michaels. I trust Shawn Michaels with a lot of stuff. And Shawn Michaels, I trust him with talent, in particular getting a talent and doing great by them. But Shawn Michaels is not stupid. And I thought, because Shawn Michaels is not stupid, I trust Shawn Michaels with Ethan Page. And Ethan Page is going to be a player on that roster. No doubt about it.
Yes, he's not going to turn out to be a Shawn Spears who came in. And, I mean, Shawn Spears is a veteran. He's a guy that's putting over the talent. And I think we just lost Escobar again, who's dealing with technical difficulties. Power just went out a couple minutes ago. So hopefully we get him back on the show. But Ethan Page is not going to be a guy who comes in and he has good matches and he's putting people over. Nah. Ethan Page is going to, obviously he's in the main event. He's going straight to the main event, and he is going to be, sooner rather than later, I think, the top dog in NXT. I thought they were going to save out Ethan Page against Trick Williams for the next NXT pay-per-view, which is NXT Heatwave in Toronto, Money in the Bank weekend, but they might be doing it at Battleground this Sunday. I don't know, but right now Trick Williams does not have a match, and that's pretty shocking knowing that he is the NXT champion, but AEW absolutely dropped the ball with Ethan Page. How long do you think it's going to take for Ethan Page to get up on the main roster?
I'm going to give it about a year.
Mm-hmm. I agree. And it's another one of Cody's friends who came into the company. So he's following Jade, Sean Spears, and now Ethan Page. And he's going to be amazing.
Ricky Starks going to join us soon. Don't worry. Ricky Starks will be right there with him.
Oh, yeah.
Ricky Starks going to join us soon.
I think he'll be there by the fall, to be honest.
TK better hope Punk's friends don't go over there. That's what he better hope. TK better hope Punk's friends don't go over there. Yeah, outside of FTR. I don't think FTR going no damn way. But he better hope Punk's friends don't go over there. Brody King, I would say Darby, but Darby ain't going no damn way. Actually, I think that's one of the only few friends Cody has in AEW. I don't think I'll follow him over there, Darby.
No, Darby's never going to WWE, but yeah, I'm excited, and I'm excited to see Ethan Page. I think he's going to be fantastic, and he'll be NXT champion sooner rather than later. Now, one of the bigger topics that we missed out on last week was wrestlers in WWE who have expiring contracts. Now, we'll go over the names, but obviously we'll get into the big name, which the big name is Becky Lynch. Her contract is up. She is a free agent. Chad Gable is set to be a free agent by Friday, even though he has an Intercontinental Championship match next Saturday at Clash of the Castle. Ricochet is set to be a free agent in the summer. Natalya is set to be a free agent in the summer. And so is Angel Garza. Angel Garza is going to be a free agent as well. There's probably other names as well. I don't know off the top of my head, but I know those 5 names. But obviously, Cam, the big one on this list is Becky Lynch. And I don't think she's going anywhere because she is not going anywhere. She has built such we said the same thing with Edge and guys like Edge and Daniel Bryan that they would never leave, but
I said the same thing about Jericho. I thought Jericho would never leave. I said the same thing about guys like Jericho and Big Show. I thought Jericho and Big Show would never leave, and they show up. That Big Show AEW report legitimately shocked me. I'm sorry to cut you off, but like that report legitimately shocked me, bro. I took a nap. I woke up from my nap. I'm seeing Big Shows with AEW. I'm like, what?
That was they sent that out on a press release too, which was pretty shocking. But yes, Becky Lynch is probably going to be the highest paid women's wrestler of all time from the WWE. I think the goal coming out of this is that she is going to make more money than Mercedes Moné does in AEW. I think WWE is going to look at the contract. I mean, if they have the details. I don't know the details, but if WWE has the details, they're going to think how much Mercedes gets per year, and Becky Lynch is going to make more than that. That's my prediction coming out of this. There's no way that she is leaving the WWE. Now, the one guy I would love to see leave WWE and go to another promotion, and possibly in AEW. AEW has so many wrestlers, though. I don't know if I want wrestlers going over to AEW anymore. But I think Ricochet has been so handcuffed since he's came up to the main roster, man. He hasn't been able to bend Ricochet in a very long time. He's had some nice spots here and there, but he hasn't done some insane shit since his days in NXT. What do you think? What do you think about Becky? Names that you think aren't going to re-sign with the WWE, even though I do think Ricochet is going to end up re-signing. But what do you think about the whole Becky Lynch situation? Let's start with that first.
All right. Becky Lynch, I'm in agreement with you. I don't think Becky Lynch is going anywhere. I don't think she's going to. I said the same thing about Edge. I thought Edge was going to AEW, but he obviously did. But I don't think Becky Lynch is going to AEW. I don't see Becky Lynch going anywhere else. And to be honest with you, I don't think we see Becky Lynch for a while. I think she'll be back by the time WrestleMania season comes around. But I don't think we see Becky Lynch for a while. I think Becky Lynch is more content, I think Becky Lynch is more content, to be honest with you, with just staying at home. To be honest with you, just staying at home. Just to be honest with you, staying at home with a daughter. Staying at home with the daughter, and I can see Becky Lynch coming back to WWE when WrestleMania season approaches. I just think Becky Lynch just wants to take a long break. I just think Becky Lynch just wants to take a long break, which is well deserved because Becky Lynch is the greatest female star WWE's ever had. It's not Mercedes. It's not Sasha. It's not Charlotte. I love Trish Stratus, but it's not Trish. It's not China. It's not Lita. It is Becky Lynch. Becky Lynch is the greatest female star WWE has ever had. Becky Lynch is the greatest female star WWE's ever had. So Becky Lynch has long earned her vacation, and she's not going anywhere. Ricochet, to be honest with you, I'm Ricochet. I would just resign with WWE. I don't see him doing much better in AEW. To be quite honest with you, I think if Ricochet was to go to AEW, I think he would be in the exact same position he's in now, which is just a mid-card guy who and look, Ricochet, when we talk about how badly WWE's fumbled Ricochet since he's got caught up to the main roster, he's not the world champion that I think many of us look at him to be, but I don't think we can say that they fumbled Ricochet on the main roster because Ricochet is a featured performer on television. There are a lot of guys on contract over there that are not being featured. Apollo Crews is a guy that WWE has fumbled. Went down and came up his first run, fumbled him. He went down to NXT. They called him back up and they fumbled Apollo Crews. I don't think we can say the same thing with somebody like Ricochet because Ricochet is on TV. Ricochet gets TV time. He's a featured performer on TV. And Ricochet's a mid-card guy. His role is Ricochet's a mid-card guy, but being a mid-card guy is not a bad thing. Ricochet is on TV weekly. But to be honest with you, if you're to go to AEW, I don't see him being TNT champion or international champion. I think he will be in the exact same position he's in now. And if I'm Ricochet, my wife works for WWE. If I'm Ricochet, my wife works for WWE. Triple H trusts me in these spots. Why would I leave? If I'm Ricochet, I'm not going anywhere. Chad Gable, I don't think Chad Gable is going anywhere either, but no. I could see Chad Gable. But I'm not gonna lie, Chad Gable leaving WWE. That does kind of move. I don't see it happening, especially now since he's getting the biggest push of his career, and he is going to be the one to beat Sami Zayn for the Intercontinental title. But Chad Gable, him leaving WWE, that does move me. I'm not gonna let you. Natalya, I don't think Natalya will leave either. I think Natalya's a lifer there. I think she has a job for life for WWE if she wants it. But Natalya is the one name I could see going. But Natalya is the one name I could see leaving and just working on the indie scene and seeing how she does. Just to see how she does. But I think Natalya has a job with WWE for life if she wants it, obviously as an in-ring performer. And even not as an in-ring performer, but somebody who's backstage but somebody who works backstage for him. But somebody who works backstage for him. She works, she helps train, she helps train a lot of their like their new female talent or whatever. So I don't think Natalya's going anywhere. I could see her leaving, but I don't see her going anywhere. Angel Garza, I could see Angel Garza going deuces because they ain't doing shit with him, but I don't think he'll leave. Humberto, I don't think he'll leave. And yeah, so those are my thoughts on the contract situation. But who is the person in charge of these contracts is fired, bro? You can't fire that person. Fire whoever's in charge of these contracts. Get rid of that person, bro. My God.
For real. There's
That
going
whole roster got contracts coming up at this point.
exactly. I'll say this, and I know this is an all WWE podcast and all that, but if this was 2 years ago, maybe 2 to 3 years ago, and Ricochet's contract was coming up, and Chad Gable's contract was coming up, I'd be like, I want to see those guys in AEW. I think that would be awesome. But now AEW has too many wrestlers on the roster. They have too many guys sitting around not on television. Ricky Starks, Wardlow, we all know this by now. And they're better off. They're better off in WWE. And I know it felt like for a while in WWE that Ricochet was kind of handcuffed. Hopefully he's not as handcuffed now with Triple H working and Triple H running the things. Chad Gable is on the run of his life right now. I don't think there's a reason for him to leave, but obviously, again, the big name out of this list is Becky Lynch, and boy, she ain't going anywhere. I think she'll be back. I think she'll be back for the Royal Rumble.
I agree with that. I agree with that. I think she'll be back for the Rumble or Mania. I just think she's taking a break right now. But I just think she's taking a break right now. But I don't think Becky Lynch is going. I do not think that woman is going to get anymore.
I think Becky will be back for the Rumble, and I also think Seth will be back for the Rumble as well. I don't think we're seeing either Becky Lynch or Seth Rollins for the rest of the year. That's my opinion. That's what I think about that. So, on to what happened on Friday. And no, I'm not talking about the Solo and Paul Heyman's, which, by the way, shout out to Paul Heyman. He was absolutely incredible in that segment with Kevin Owens on Friday. Shout out to Paul Heyman. That was awesome. But the segment I'm talking about is obviously the AJ Styles fake retirement segment. And this kind of ties into the next topic, which we'll get into once we're done with this one. But Cam, AJ Styles wears the suit jacket with talking to Nick Aldis. He says he needed to address his future in the ring. Obviously, we knew where this was going. I'll give you this one first, and give your rundown on the AJ Styles fake retirement. Cody Rhodes was incredible in that role. Dave Meltzer called him one of the greatest baby faces of all time, which we'll get into that relating to this segment. Go ahead, dude. Floor is yours.
I saw something online that made me laugh. It really is amazing how Cody Rhodes is following the same John Cena arc. It's following the same John Cena arc, which is they lose a big match at WrestleMania. Cody lost to Roman last year. And then they get Brock Lesnar put in front of him, which is what happened to Cena after Extreme Rules. He got Brock put in front of him. They redeem themselves. They come back. They win the title the next year, which is exactly what happened. That's exactly what happened. And then they get the fake retirement thing, pulled on them. Mark Henry with John Cena, and AJ Styles, and Cody Rhodes with AJ Styles. And I'm just thinking to myself at this rate, I'm just waiting for Cody Rhodes to face the most. I'm just waiting for Cody Rhodes to face the most over baby face in the company. So at SummerSlam, it's probably going to be Cody Rhodes and Jey Uso for the WWE title. It's probably going to be Cody Rhodes and Jey Uso for the WWE title at this rate. But I thought it was well done. I thought it was well done, and I like this from AJ. AJ Styles basically going, right, and I like this. By the way, I like this. Oh. I don't know if I said this before, but I do think this is the last year that we see a full-time AJ Styles. I think this is the last year. No, not necessarily his last year wrestling, but AJ Styles is a full-time performer. I think this is the last year we get that. I honestly think this is the last year we get AJ Styles as a full-time performer. So, but yeah, I thought this was fine. Now, somebody pitched an idea that I enjoy, that I really liked, which was when Nick Aldis said, sorry, you got to start from the back of the line. Nick Aldis literally meant you start at the back of the line, and they have AJ Styles going to run in NXT. And they have AJ Styles get like a mini run in NXT, and then he gets caught up, and then he faces Cody again. But this I enjoyed. And it sets up AJ and Cody 2 at Clash at the Castle. Maybe you do AJ Cody 3 at Money in the Bank. Maybe you give AJ Styles the WWE title and has Cody challenge him for it going into Money in the Bank. I don't know, but I like this. Because on SmackDown, outside of AJ Styles and Randy Orton, which they don't want to do Randy yet, SmackDown don't have a lot of options for Cody Rhodes to face. I mean, you could do Lashley, you could do Kevin Owens, but I don't think they want to turn Kevin Owens heel anytime soon. So they don't have a lot of options, so they went back to AJ, but I don't mind it.
And to be honest with you, Cam, I wouldn't be surprised if this match doesn't happen at Clash of the Castle, because if this match happens at Clash, I think the main event of that show should be Drew McIntyre versus Damian Priest. So if this match happens at the Clash of the Castle, it's not going to be the main event. Whereas if it happens at Money in the Bank on July 6th, it is going to be the main event of that show probably. So I see a possibility where that match is happening at Money in the Bank. Obviously, the big match that is going to happen at SummerSlam is Randy Orton. How we get there, no idea. But that's the big match at SummerSlam. Is probably Randy Orton against Cody. But the retirement was incredible. It was a well done angle. It was not better than the Mark Henry retirement angle, just based off the fact that we were shocked when it happened. Like, you were probably shocked, right?
I was shocked as hell. I was like, what? I was like, what? And then Mark Henry after was like, you thought this was it? I still got a lot left in the tank.
Yes. That was awesome. But based off the shock factor, I feel like I'd go with the Mark Henry segment over the AJ Styles retirement. But, I mean, the AJ segment was well done. A lot of sympathy. Crowd chanting AJ Styles. Cody was incredible in that role. And after that segment, when Dave Meltzer went over that segment on SmackDown, Alvarez and Meltzer, that is, Meltzer called Cody Rhodes one of the greatest baby faces of all time. Cody is a great baby face. He's an awesome baby face. I don't know if I would go that far. Would you?
I can see where he's coming from. I would give it a few more years, but I see where they're coming from. I would give it a few more years, but I see where they're coming from.
Yeah,
I will say this: Cody Rhodes is a babyface. I think Cody is exactly what WWE's been missing ever since they got rid of John Cena in terms of just like a great babyface. They've missed that with Cody. And by the way, I've said it before and I'll say it again. I think Cody Rhodes is a better babyface than John Cena in this instance here. When Rey Mysterio won the WWE title, John Cena gave Rey Mysterio an hour with the WWE title. Cody Rhodes would have gave Rey Mysterio at least a week before he took that title. I stand by that. John Cena gave Rey Mysterio an hour with the WWE Championship. He ain't even let Rey Mysterio take it home. See, at least Randy Orton had the decency. Well, at least Randy Orton had the decency. He let Christian take the title home and show his wife and his kids and his family. And then Randy Orton came out that Tuesday on SmackDown, was like, I'm gonna need that World Heavyweight title. And he technically gave him 5 days because SmackDown was taped on Tuesday, but it aired that Friday. So he technically gave him 5 days. John Cena gave Rey Mysterio an hour. Cody Rhodes would have gave Rey Mysterio at least a week as WWE champion. So I will say that. I do think he's a better babyface in that regard there. John Cena gave Cody Rhodes an hour. Also, Cody Rhodes, when the other babyfaces are getting their ass whooped, Cody Rhodes makes the save for him. John Cena ain't ever make the save for any other babyface when they were getting their asses kicked. Never. Right? Never. John Cena never ever made the save for another babyface who was getting their ass kicked. Cody Rhodes, that's all he does is save people. That's all he does is make saves for people. So yeah,
He would have given Ray a month with the title,
probably would have given him a month. Probably would have.
let alone a week. Give him a month, but yeah, I'm not ready to call him one of the greatest baby faces of all time. I think you have to do a couple more years, and obviously during his time in WWE, he should go heel. Now, this
I don't know if I'd turn him. I don't know if I'd turn him heel. If the fan demand is there for it, then yeah, but I don't know if it will be. So I don't think he should necessarily go heel.
I mean, at some point, everybody has to go heel. John Cena was going to go heel, but then they changed plans. So,
thank God they did, because Sheamus is the top. I love Sheamus, but Sheamus is the top baby face would have been a failure. But I don't understand that. I don't understand why they're going to turn Sheamus. Oh, they're going to make Sheamus the top baby face when they turned Cena heel when Punk was right there. Like, I don't know what's going on.
Unbelievable. Punk was so over that year. That was the year of WrestleMania 29. Punk was their guy, and they changed plans and stuck with Cena. So this transitions over to the next segment, the AJ Styles retirement. Very predictable. Some stuff that happened on Raw. Yeah, pretty predictable. Not most of it, but some of the stuff is pretty predictable. Ever since WrestleMania ended, has the WWE product become too predictable? To me, some of it has. And I know there's some unpredictability in it, like I'll give you an example. Shoot. The storyline with Liv Morgan and Dominic. Obviously, I don't think it's going to get good until Rhea Ripley makes her return, but no one expected what happened at the King of the Ring pay-per-view. Another example that I have is the stuff with Braun Breaker and Ricochet. Man, that's honestly been my favorite part of Monday Night Raw. It's the three-way feud between Ricochet, Ilya Dragunov, and Braun Breaker. That's been the best part of Monday Night Raw. But then there's other stuff that's very predictable. The Judgment Day. It's too much interference in Judgment Day matches. It's the same thing. Last week, JD McDonough wrestles Braun Strowman. Judgment Day interference in the middle of the match. Goes back to haunt them. Braun Strowman wins. This week, Finn Balor versus Dragon Lee. Judgment Day interference in the middle of the match. 3-on-1. Finn Balor wins. Carlito versus Braun Strowman, which Carlito's been around the Judgment Day. Judgment Day interference in that match. Braun Strowman wins. Beat down after the match.
Speaking of Carlito, can we take Carlito off TV forever, please? Can we not bring Carlito? Can we take him off TV forever, please? Just keep him off. Keep Carlito off TV forever.
I remember when people were hyped that WWE re-signed Carlito, and he really hasn't done much since his return. And then last night, the main event, Damian Priest versus Rey Mysterio. Judgment Day interference. Damian Priest wins. So it's a lot of predictable stuff in WWE recently. Am I the only one who thinks this? What do you think about it?
No, you're not the only one that thinks it. I see where you're coming from with it being too predictable and stuff. But one thing I would say to counteract your point, they had what did they have? Oh, the King of the Ring finals for the men with Gunther and Randy Orton. I thought that could have went either way. I thought that could have went either way, and I thought that was a great job of that not being too predictable. I thought that was a great job of that not being too predictable. But I see where you're coming from. I think it's just a matter of they're telling stories where we obviously know which way it's headed, but I see where you're coming from.
I mean, there's other stuff that's unpredictable as well, but I mean, especially the PLEs. I feel like the PLEs are a little bit too predictable. Besides what you said, the men's King of the Ring tournament and that Becky Lynch match, like the last pay-per-view Backlash. I mean, Jesus Christ, you could have looked at that match card, covered your eyes, and not see the matches, and been told the matches, and you already know who's gonna win before you see the matches. But I feel like the PLEs are more predictable than the television shows. So just wanted to talk about that for a little bit. Speaking of PLE, we have a PLE. I mean, I call it a pay-per-view, PLE, whatever you want to call it. I call it a pay-per-view. We do have a pay-per-view Sunday on Peacock, NXT Battleground from the Apex Arena where UFC is from. It's going to be about, I saw 700, 800 capacity in the UFC Apex. So it should get Full Sail vibes with, I mean, I miss the Full Sail days of NXT. And I'm going to be honest with you, I really didn't have plans to watch this show until I saw what happened last week. So 1 through 10, what's your excitement level for this show?
7.
A 7? Okay. I'll probably give it a 6. I'll give it a 6. So we are going to run through the card really quickly. Let me pull up the match card. Right now, in the middle of NXT, no new matches have been announced for the show. We have, here we go. Right now, we have 5 matches for the show itself. I'm just going to go in the order Wikipedia has it here. Inaugural NXT Women's North American Championship match. This is a ladder match to become the first ever NXT Women's North American Champion. We have Sol Ruka, Lash Legend, Fallon Henley, Jada Parker, Mi Chin, and Kelani Jordan. Cam, who are you taking on this one and why?
I'm going with 2 people. I'm going with 2 people. I think Fallon Henley, my official pick is Fallon Henley winning this match. Fallon Henley is very, very good. But Fallon Henley is very, very good. And she needs some championship goals. I can see Fallon Henley winning this match and get some championship gold. Also, I can see Michin winning. I can see Michin winning. I can see me and him staying around in NXT for a while, which, to be honest with you, I would prefer. They're not doing shit with her on the main roster anyhow. So me and him sticking around with NXT, I would not mind at all. And her winning that NXT North American Women's Champion, winning the NXT Women's North American Championship, I would not mind it at all. I think she'd be a great person to hold that. I think she'd be a great person to hold the championship onto. And I think whoever beats me and him for it will help get them over a lot. So I'm going with Fallon Henley and I'm going with me and him. Those are my 2 picks.
Ooh. You had to flip a coin. Who are you picking?
Fallon Henley. Fallon Henley. But I can see me and him winning. With the other names on this match here, Jada Parker is great. I like Jada Parker. I just don't think Jada Parker's ready to hold it. I just don't think Jada Parker's ready to hold a championship. Sol Ruka would be the 3rd pick I could see. Sol Ruka is very, very good. But I don't see her winning either. Kelani Jordan is great. Kelani Jordan is going to be a big star. Kelani Jordan is great. I just don't see her winning it either. Lash Legend, and this might piss some people off, but so be it. Lash Legend is a better wrestler than Jade Cargill. You can argue with a wall. Lash Legend is a better wrestler than Jade Cargill. But I don't see Lash Legend winning it either. So I think it comes down to either me and him or Fallon Henley. I think Fallon Henley. If I had to flip a coin, I think Fallon Henley gets it.
Okay. I haven't watched a lot of NXT in the past couple weeks. The name that sticks out to me in this is Sol Ruka. I've heard that she's gotten really over with the NXT audience. I've seen some highlights of her. She's not bad. She's very.
Sol Ruka is great. Sol Ruka is very good.
I think she has potential, and I think it would not be a bad thing to give her the NXT Women's North American Championship. So I'm going to take Sol Ruka for the win. And this is very unpredictable. I mean, we literally just talked about unpredictability. I feel like there's a lot of unpredictability in NXT, which is a great thing about the brand. But I'm gonna go with Sol Ruka with this one. So you're going with Fowler Henley. I'm going with Sol Ruka for the win. Obafemi defends the NXT North America Championship against Wes Lee and Joe Coffey. I would love to see Wes Lee as the North America champion once again, but I'm going to take Oba for the win. Oba is going to pin Joe Coffey.
I got Oba winning this match too, man. Obafemi is what they wanted Omos to be. I fully believe that. What Omos is, I fully believe that. What Obafemi is what they wanted Omos to be. And Oba, and like I can't blame Omos for being like bad. Although I don't think Omos is bad. I think Omos is decent. But I can't blame him for being as immobile as he is, because like, how good are you gonna be at like 7'3"? Like how good of a professional wrestler are you expected to be at like 7'3"? But Obafemi is him, bro. Obafemi is. I love Obafemi, and I love Obafemi, and I love how in NXT in particular, NXT. I've said it before. With NXT, you don't get a lot of chicken shit heels. You have some of them, like Lexis King, I would classify as a chicken shit. Like Lexis King, I would classify as like a chicken shit heel. But like, you don't get a lot of chicken shit heels in NXT. When Carmelo Hayes was a heel in NXT, Melo was not a chicken shit. Melo was somebody like, oh, you want this work? Right, you can come get this work. Like you want this work, you come get this work. Grayson Waller was a chicken shit heel, but it fit his character. When Braun Breaker went heel, Braun Breaker was not a chicken shit heel. Braun was like, you want this work? You come get this work. So, like, I like the fact that NXT's gotten away from chicken shit heels, and I like how Obafemi is not a chicken shit heel. Obafemi's like, bro, you want your ass, you want your ass whooped. Like, bro, you want your ass whooped. You can get your ass whooped. So I really enjoy that with NXT. But yeah, Obafemi is winning this match here. Obafemi is meeting the shit. Obafemi is going to win this match here, and we're going to get Obafemi and Wes Lee at some point. But I think that North American Championship has Javon Evans' name written all over it. I think Javon is the one to beat Obafemi. I think Obafemi is retaining here.
That'd be a decent David versus Goliath story with David winning the championship. I mean, people would go nuts for that, I think. So I'm going with Oba too. Oba to retain. All right, I'm going to be honest with you. I got no clue what has happened in this storyline at all. Shayna Baszler versus Lola Vice in an underground match. What the fuck?
I like NXT Underground. I like the NXT Underground. I like the NXT Underground stipulations. Again, I like how Shawn Michaels took Raw Underground and he just made a step from it. I would prefer if this was a fight pit match. If this was a fight pit match, but they're in the Underground. Shayna Baszler, Lola Vice, the two people with MMA experience on the roster. They're at the UFC Apex. I don't have an issue with this. The story for this match is simple. Basically, Lola Vice turned on Shayna Baszler. Lola Vice turned on Shayna Baszler 2 months ago. 2 weeks ago, Shayna Baszler retaliated. That's how we got NXT Underground here. So, but Lola Vice is going to win here because Lola Vice is the one in NXT. Shayna Baszler is not. And as much as it would pain me to see Shayna Baszler lose to Lola Vice, Shayna is not the one that needs the rub here. It is Lola Vice. So I think Lola Vice is winning.
God damn it! I want to take Shayna just because, like, I don't think Shayna should lose, but you're right. Shayna is the one on the main roster. Lola is gonna be in NXT, so she's gonna beat Shayna. So I'm gonna take Lola Vice for the win. I'm sure you're gonna love this one. The OC.
Oh God!
Yes. Yes. The OC, Gallows and Anderson, challenging Nathan Frazier and Axiom for the NXT Tag Team Championships. I thought they were going to win the tag team championships, meaning the OC at Stand and Deliver. They did not. Frazier and Axiom won them on NXT. And I think this sets up for Gallows and Anderson to win the tag team championships here.
Yeah, I hope that don't happen.
You know it.
God, I hope that shit don't happen. Keep the belts on Frazier and Axiom. Please, keep the belts on Frazier and Axiom. I do not want the Good Brothers holding tag. I don't even want the Good Brothers on TV, but I do not want the Good Brothers holding tag team championship gold in 2024. Please, please keep the belts on Frazier and Axiom. Please keep the belts on Frazier and Axiom. I beg you.
What would be the point of sending them down to NXT if they're not going to win the tag team championships?
To help work with some talent, although I don't know how much better you're going to get working with the tag team that sucks and the Good Brothers, but to help work with a tag team. Oh, by the way, this Good Brothers hate is not new. I've never understood the appeal. Even when WWE brought him in and people were raving about him, oh, this is going to be a great tag team. I sit there going, are y'all watching the same match as I am? Like, well, what is the appeal of Gallows and Anderson? What's the appeal? They suck. Carl Anderson on his own is very good, but like as a tag team, they suck. So like, what's the point of having them around?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't know. And by the way, as a spoiler for NXT, Nathan Frazier and Axiom were selling T-shirts to like fans, and they were attacked by Gallows and Anderson in the parking lot at the Performance Center. So
That damn parking lot strikes again.
it's not safe at all, but I think Gallows and Anderson are going to win the tag team championships here. And then what I think is going to be the main event, hopefully, of this show, Jordynne Grace versus Roxanne Perez for the NXT Women's Championship. It would be really cool to see Roxanne, or not Roxanne. It would be really cool to see Jordynne Grace win the championship, although I don't think she's going to. I'm taking Roxanne Perez, and I hope it's the main event of the show.
Sorry. I'm taking Roxanne Perez to win the. I'm taking Roxanne Perez to retain here.
Alrighty, so that's your Battleground predictions, and I'm sure we'll be recapping it next week on episode 7. So before we go, you want to do some trivia?
Let's do some trivia.
All right, so we only got Cameron Johnson answering the questions this week. Escobar Morales, his power went out. Hoping the best for him and the power situation over there. And hopefully we get him back next week for episode 7. So, Cam, I got 5 questions here for the trivia. This is a lot of recent events in WWE. I'm talking 2010 and above. And so nothing below 2010. Question 1. June 4th, 2017. What was the location of Extreme Rules 2017? Did Extreme Rules 2017 happen in Washington, D.C., Boston, Massachusetts, Cincinnati, Ohio, or Baltimore, Maryland?
Extreme Rules 2017. That was the place that god awful Kendo taking upon match with Bailey and Alexa Bliss. I love Alexa, but that just god awful. I'm gonna go DC. I want to say Columbus, Ohio, but I'm gonna go DC.
DC, close. It was actually in Baltimore. So they're about, I'd say, an hour apart of each other. So I mean, you were pretty close on that one. So, all right. Question 2. We're still talking about Extreme Rules 2017 here. What was the opening match of the show, and what was the stipulation? This match was for the Intercontinental Championship.
It was Dean Ambrose and The Miz, and the stipulation was, if Ambrose got DQ'd, he would lose the title to Miz. I think that was the stipulation.
Bingo. There you go. That was not a bad opener. But I think
That was a god awful feud, bro. That was the feud that would not end that year, bro. That was the feud that would not end.
They feuded on SmackDown, and then they transitioned over to Monday Night Raw. I felt like they were feuding before WrestleMania before John Cena got into the mix, and then they.
Out of here, fly, bro. You know, I'm sorry, Joseph. There's a fly in here.
No, dude, I hate
getting my dog's dog food, bro. You gonna die.
Those goddamn flies. God damn it. All right. This is our last question for Extreme Rules 2017. Who did Samoa Joe pass out to become the #1 contender for the Universal Championship? Did he pass out Bray Wyatt, Finn Balor, Seth Rollins, or Roman Reigns? Finn Balor? There you go. Nice. All right, we got 3 more questions here. We got to wait for the damn fly to stop being a pain in the ass, though.
You gonna die. I promise you. When I get done with it, you are dying. I promise you. Okay, go ahead.
Feud of the year: Cameron Johnson versus the Fly. Unbelievable. All right, so this might be a challenging one. I doubt you remember this. I didn't remember this, but I saw it in my research. I'm like, I'm gonna put it in here for a curveball. So June 6th, 2019. This was on an episode of Monday Night Raw. How did R-Truth pin Jinder Mahal to win the 24/7 championship? Did he pin him on a golf? Hold on.
He pinned him on a plane.
Did he pin him on a golf course during a lumberjack match while Jinder was sleeping on a flight or in the parking lot?
I think it's while Jinder was sleeping on a flight. And I know the 24/7 title sucks, but that is legitimately hilarious. R-Truth is a gem. That was legitimately hilarious. R-Truth tiptoeing down the aisle looking to see which one was Jinder. And when he found him, pinning him 1, 2, 3, and then he celebrated with the title. And he's like, and then he has a realization, shit. And then he goes, locks himself in the bathroom. That shit was funny. Oh my God, R-Truth was great.
He was asleep on the plane too, and I don't know if he was snoring or not, but that title was horrendous, but I remember that being pretty funny. So I wanted to put that in there as a trivia question for this week. All right, we got 2 more here. I feel like this one might be predictable. These last 2 might be predictable. Who caused a disqualification during a John Cena CM Punk Monday Night Raw main event to take out both guys and destroy the ring canvas? Do you remember who this was?
Nexus.
Yes. There you go. I didn't want to give you.
I was thinking Big Show, but I was thinking Big Show because I remember they fought on Raw 1000. And that's where Cena cashed in when he the main that got off the thing happened. But I think that was in July. And you said destroy the ring canvas. So I said Nexus.
Yes, that was like right before the summer, I think, too. So, or like during the summer, that's when the Nexus took out Cena and Punk on Raw to set up a huge match for SummerSlam. All right, the last.
And if you have not seen that episode of Raw, do not see it. That is legitimate. Up until I'm not even exaggerating. Up until Nexus comes out and destroys John Cena and CM Punk, that Monday Night Raw is legitimately one of the worst episodes of Raw of all time, and it is a 3-hour Raw. And there's a theory going around that people think that WWE made that Raw so bad on purpose so that the Nexus angle would stick out more. But that episode of Raw, that is a very bad episode of Raw.
Oh my God. How can you remember bad episodes from 13 years ago, dude?
Right. If it's bad, it's bad. That was, I was a kid at the time. So at the time, I don't know what that is. But after going back and like seeing, after going back and like hearing like podcasts and stuff about it, that episode of Monday Night Raw is one of the worst episodes of Monday Night Raw of all time. It's a conspiracy theory that WWE made Raw that night so bad on purpose so that the Nexus angle would stick out more. But that was a bad episode of Raw.
Gotcha. I mean, I don't remember. That's the only thing I remember about that. But, yeah, I've experienced bad in my life too with WWE. But haven't seen that one. Seen the angle before though. But all right, we got our last trivia question for the night. This was pretty recent. This happened during COVID. This was in 2020. So Cam, what was the co-main event of the NXT In Your House show in 2020? The co-main event.
Okay, the co-main event. So I remember, if I remember correctly, the main event of In Your House was Charlotte, Rhea, and Io. So the co-main event was Adam Cole and the Velveteen Dream for the NXT Championship in a backlot brawl.
I think you're right because I might have gotten wrong on my end because I have it down on my sheet that oh wait, timeout. What year was okay, so you got your answer right. But what year was it 2021 Karrion Kross had his fatal five-way?
Yeah, that was 2021.
Damn it. All right. I thought that was the co-main event in 2020. So
No.
I got that wrong, but I'll give you that one. Legitimately, the only memorable thing of that build to the 2021 main event of In Your House was the Adam Cole and Karrion Kross promo. That
I
is,
think In Your House 21 is the worst takeover they've ever done.
yes, I thought that was a bad show. I didn't like that. I loved the parking lot brawl though. The one that we just did, the Velveteen Dream and Adam Cole. That was a good match.
I remember watching it. I was like, I was over it at that point. I was over the cinematic matches at that point. I was like,
I feel you. But all right, that is your trivia, and that is episode 6 of Chopping It Up. Thank you all so much for tuning in. Be sure to
hold on,
subscribe.
wait a minute, Joseph.
What's up?
Joseph. You just asked me some trivia. I got a trivia question for you.
Oh,
So here we go. This one is probably easy though. But
little
we can't
bonus
forget
trivia
this.
here, huh?
Yeah, but we can't forget this. So here we go. The night that Seth Rollins turned on the Shield. What was the pay-per-view that happened the night before, and what was the main event?
Okay, this was Extreme Rules 2000 and I don't remember what year it was. I think it was 14. No, not 14. 2013, and the main event was Seth. It was the Shield. Seth Rollins, Roman Reigns, and Dean Ambrose against Triple H, Randy Orton, and Batista in a 6-man Extreme Rules elimination match. Am I right?
You are wrong on that one. It was actually
no.
payback to it. It was actually payback 2014. But you were right on the main event though. It was the Shield against Evolution.
Okay, so it wasn't Extreme Rules. It was Payback.
Yep.
Damn it. Okay. Close. I always get mixed up because I always think when I go back in time and I think about previous shows, I always thought that Extreme Rules was the first pay-per-view after WrestleMania when it was Payback. So
Well, Extreme Rules was. They did 2 matches that year. So they did Shield versus Evolution twice. So it was Extreme Rules first. That was where they did Bryan and Kane on that show. And then after that it was Payback.
I got you. Damn. All right, that was close. You got another one you want to cook up?
No, I think that's it. Oh,
That's it?
not a trivia question, but a question in general. Did you watch King of the Ring 2002 and the worst and the god awful Triple H Undertaker match?
Yes, I did.
Was that match? That match god awful? Because I told you it was god awful.
I was bored watching that match. I was bored, dude. You guys were right. That match was awful. So, but I did. And next week is Clash of the Castle. So, I mean, if we can, we'll do a little bit Clash of the Castle. There's only been one Clash of the Castle, so we'll see what we can do for some trivia next week. But fellas, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to head out for the evening. Thank you all so much for tuning in. Be sure to subscribe to the Big Fight Field channel for some more content. Comment down below your thoughts on everything we talked about on tonight's show. Follow me on Twitter at Colin_Joseph. And while I'm at it here, follow Escobar on Twitter at Escobar2K1 as Escobar Morales on Twitter. Cam, send us home, my friend.
Follow me on Twitter at Cam71101. Also, make sure you check out the Rated M podcast on YouTube. Also, make sure you check out the Rated M podcast on YouTube and watch the live and watch the watch along we did for Battleground 2016 on Saturday. Battleground 2016 is a great show. So make sure you check out that watch along. And also make sure you check out the Rated M podcast every Thursday live. Last week we did open mic night where we let some of y'all come on air and have some takes or whatever. It was fun debate. It was fun debating it was fun talking to a lot of dumbass people on there who ain't know what the fuck they're talking about. That was fun. We got to do that again. And when we do it again, Joseph, we're going to get you on. Let's believe.
Dude, that shit must have been hilarious with all the fans coming on, giving their opinions. How many people did you have on?
Yeah, I think we had like a good. I got to look at the thing, but I think at one time we had like a good 7 or 8 people in there all at once. But when I tell you, Joseph, some of these people were stupid. Boy, these people were dumb as hell.
Are they Instagram commenters?
No, but they were a lot of fun. So.
Oh well. Thank you all so much for tuning in, and we will see you next week for episode 7 of Chopping It Up. I'm Joseph Conlon, along with Cameron Johnson, signing out. Have a good night. Stay safe. And as always, stay classy. And I'm out. Peace.
Peace.